You found Channel 13. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching.
Rise from your grave.
Oh boy, episode 3. I never thought I'd make it. Those weeks ago when I started episode 1 and you told me I would have been on episode 3, I would have said you were crazy. But as always, things happen in video games all around the world every day, and I'm here to summarize some titles that I glanced at for articles that I kinda thought about reading. So let's get started. Nintendo had their first Nintendo Direct of the year, and of course there was no mention of a Nintendo Switch Pro. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because they're not gonna make one? Missing console announcements notwithstanding, there's still a lot of exciting stuff that they announced this time around. One of them, of course, being the new Zelda game coming out in May, but everyone's excited about that, and if you're not, there's probably something wrong with you. You should get that checked. Although, I do hope that the Kingdom of Hyrule did learn to keep Ganon out of your kingdom. You should probably make a weapon that lasts longer than 3 swings. Otherwise, you're probably going to have a lot of problems with invading armies taking over, since you're constantly scrambling around looking for a weapon that you can hit an enemy with more than a couple of times. Another announcement that actually hit me by surprise, because I hadn't read anything that they were doing this, is the HD remaster of Baiten Kaitos 1 and 2. These are a couple of my favorite games on the Nintendo GameCube, so I really can't wait to be able to drag them around with me on the Nintendo Switch without emulating or without dragging out my Nintendo GameCube and putting the discs in and hoping they still work. The Metroid Prime remaster I'm very excited about, but not excited about to buy it digitally. I am waiting for the physical copy of the game to come out, and I of course just read that they are selling out with pre-orders, but I'll get my hands on one eventually. I am really excited about all these remasters they're announcing and bringing out. I'm not going to mention every one that was mentioned, but I do have a sinking suspicion that it's because the Nintendo Switch is aging hardware and it's starting to show its cracks in the armor, or has been for a while, and now this is a way to kind of breathe new life into it and bring a new generation of gamers to games that they probably weren't even alive when they came out, while also keeping old gamers like me very happy, because again, I don't have to drag out my old consoles, find the discs, hope they work, hope they're not scratched up, hope they don't have disc rot, and I don't also have to emulate them, which doesn't work half the time anyways, or their game will just cut out in the middle of it. So, great job, Nintendo. Hey, speaking of really old gamers, they just announced Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service. This, of course, makes me very excited because Game Boy was when I was a kid. I have to admit, though, I have not really ever been impressed with the NES and SNES and N64 selection they have on Nintendo Switch Online for the most part. Don't get me wrong, they brought out some great games, but I also think that they're missing a lot of them. A lot of this is rights issues, and a lot of these older companies like Konami bringing out their own collections of their classic games, but I'm not going to make a judgment quite yet. I haven't really read through the entire list of games they're planning on releasing, and I know they haven't announced every game that's going to be coming out. I just hope I kind of see different games other than kind of what I view as like the zeitgeist Nintendo games. There's a lot of great games that came out on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color that I really hope they don't skip over. Yes, it's nice to get all the Zeldas and stuff like that, but I really want to see a lot more of the games that came out that I really, really loved, and it's kind of harder to play them these days without, again, emulating or dragging out several different handheld consoles. So those 3 items were the things I was most excited about to see during Nintendo Direct. I was interested in other things, I just don't have the time to play everything. I have like 8 platforms in my house. How can I keep up? Plus I have a job. Plus I do this, for no reason. Is anyone still listening? According to the analytics, no. Hey nobody, since we're on the subject of Nintendo, apparently during their Nintendo Direct announcement, somebody had sent a package to their Kyoto headquarters that was filled with incense, along with letters that contained phrases like, "I'll kill you" and "Die Nintendo." I just brought this up because I just want to say, stop threatening game developers. Like, I get it. You have to wait a while for your games, or sometimes they don't meet your expectations. Yes, Cyberpunk 2077 sucked when it came out, and still pretty much sucks. But I would never threaten anyone over that. It didn't ever say why she was threatening people. I don't think anyone ever elaborated. She may have never elaborated on it. She did get arrested. But, I don't know. Maybe she's upset that there's no more Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen shovelware coming out. It doesn't matter what the reason is. Just stop threatening game developers. Stop threatening people in general. Just stop threatening people. Move on. You'll get more Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen games, I'm sure of it. They'll come around. Don't worry about it. Round 8 Studio released a new gameplay trailer for Lies of P. This game is about Pinocchio basically in Bloodborne. Of course, I'm not supposed to be saying that because Round 8 Studio, of course, says that any similarities between their game and Bloodborne are completely unintentional. Of course, you're making a Victorian-themed Souls-like game, so I don't know how you don't think that there's going to be a bunch of comparisons being pulled from that. But it is such a weird and goofy premise that I really enjoy it because they're just taking a different idea and running with it. I don't mind the idea of Pinocchio running around with a hunter's blunderbuss and just blasting the crap out of things, but I'm okay if they make it a little bit different as well. But if you get the chance, go check out the gameplay trailer because I think it's really kind of cool what they're doing. And I don't think this game has a release date yet. I think people were hoping for early first quarter, second quarter of 2023, but I have also read that's very unlikely. So I'll take it when I can get it. No death threats from me. Take your time, Round 8 Studio. Xbox has admitted that the Xbox Game Pass service has actually led to a decline in software sales. Is that news? Was anyone not aware of that? I mentioned in the last episode I don't understand anything about business, but I mean, if you're just charging a couple of bucks a month to be able to play all these games, then I'd assume nobody's going to buy them. Do you know how much stuff I watch on Netflix that I don't buy the DVDs or Blu-rays for? DVDs, I just said DVDs. What the hell's wrong with me? The Blu-rays for? I don't buy any of the physical media, that stuff, even if it is available. I don't even know if Netflix makes physical media available of their original content. But of course, this is going to be what happens if you're pushing a streaming platform. I don't need a console, I don't need software, I play what's available on the service. I feel like this is just them whining, going like, see, this is why we laid off 10,000 people, because nobody's buying software. Even though they just announced that they hit 25 million subscribers this month on Game Pass. At $15 a piece on average, I know that Ultimate costs more. That's $375 million a month. But they have no money. I get it, they owe all these people money that are allowing them to stream the games, but come on, you're making something off of that. It's $375 million a month. Evil corporation. Jesus. Not to be outdone, Sony wants to rent NFTs to players and stream spectators. I don't even know what the hell that means. You're gonna rent them to us? I don't want them. I don't want to buy them. Why would I want to rent one? I tried to read this article. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. What is wrong with Sony? It's like Microsoft does stuff and then they're like, oh yeah, watch this. Hold my beer. I've got a real dumb idea. Check this out. We're going to rent you a JPEG of a drunk monkey riding a rocket ship to the moon. Yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing now. Because we're a video game company, so this all makes sense. It's all about revenue streams. Drunk monkeys on rockets and revenue streams. Welcome to Sony. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. It's frustrating. You know, I wonder if Sega, in an alternate universe where they could still compete in the hardware market, would they be like this? Not my Sega. Not my Sega, baby. They'd be all, here's your game on the day it's released, no 80 gigabyte download. Also, you know, here's some weird hardware with no real clear market. But hey, I love the Genesis and I love the Dreamcast. I don't really want to talk about the Saturn right now. And who am I kidding? They'd be just the same. It's just the way things are going. So strap in, get used to it, because we just have two mega corporations force feeding us garbage and acting like they're doing us a favor. And then we're also not doing enough for them, and we owe them money. So please, rent my JPEG. You can show your friend for an hour, but then we get it back. That's my JPEG. It's mine. Two Player Productions has released a new documentary series consisting of 32 episodes, and these are like 30 to 45-minute episodes, chronicling the development of Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. I kind of watched a little bit of it. I'm not very interested. I kind of have a problem with Double Fine and all these other established game developers and game designers and these iconic people in the gaming industry turning around and going, "I'm really tired of dealing with publishers. They really stifle my creativity. I have an idea. How about you guys just give me a bunch of money and you'll have no way to hold me accountable and I'll just make a game. And then later when we run out of money, I'll just hold you hostage and say, well, you can not have the game, or you can have the game the way it is, or you can just give me more money." I mean, it's kind of like we're trusting you to, you know what you're doing, and yet you break that trust consistently and require more and more money because there's no one to hold you accountable. I really don't like that model. Kickstarter for video games is great when you're a small little company and you're only asking for a little bit of money. Hey, 50,000 people give me $5. I can take 2 years and finish this game. Great. You shouldn't be Double Fine Studios saying, hey, give me $4 million, which is clearly not enough to finish that game, and maybe we'll make you a game and then you can buy it from us. And it's really bizarre because I'm pretty sure they got purchased by Xbox Game Studios during the development of the game because they ran out of money, just like they did with Broken Age, and I don't think they wanted to go back and ask for more. So, Microsoft buying people up again. Always there to take advantage of that. Way to go. And finally, IGN has released a list of the top 28 selling game consoles in history. It's pretty much just a list of every game console ever released, at least the mainline ones. The CDI's not on there, or the Pioneer Laser Active, which aren't really game consoles. They're CD player and a Laserdisc player, respectively, that you can also play games on. Hey, is the TurboGrafx on this list? Nope. Wow, that sold less than the Dreamcast, huh? That sucks. Hey, it's still a great one, though. I don't think the Jaguar's on there and stuff like that, but all the top selling consoles, Dreamcast and Sega Saturn are 28 and 27 respectively, so you had to have beaten the Sega Dreamcast 9.62 million sold. But it's a really cool list to go through. It's really fun to go and see what people liked and just go through a little bit of history. So I would suggest checking it out. Like I said, all the articles that I ever go through and I kind of read through are always listed below, all the links, so go ahead and check them out. Read something. Stop listening to me make stuff up. I didn't even read these either. I'm just making some content here. All right, I'm done talking about it. Now it's time for my game of the week. So since I always sit here and bitch about massive corporations doing stupid things to damage the gaming community as a whole, I have now made the conscious decision to always try to feature an indie game. So you're never going to hear me say, hey, have you heard of this little game called Elden Ring? Or, hey, have you ever played this little game called Spider-Man on PlayStation? I, of course, did play Spider-Man a lot this week on my Steam Deck, but I did make sure to spend a lot of time with this little game right here. This is Delusion. It's developed by lovely Hellplace. It's been in development since 2019, but it just hit early access in June of 2022. They also just released some DLC for the game. So if you do play it, if you do get it, please go into it understanding that it is still a work in progress. However, I had so much fun playing this game. I think I've mentioned I am a huge Morrowind fan, so this takes me right back. If you enjoy that type of game where you would kind of enjoy the Skyrim Elder Scrolls type game but don't like being led by your nose to every single thing you need to do, this game is right up your alley, because it's definitely right up mine. Ooh, right up my alley. Oh boy. But as far as classic role-playing games go, early PC, 90s, early 2000s, this is what I love. And what I really like about it is they're not just doing this as kind of a gimmick. They are putting a lot of time and effort into this game. They are building a world, there's lore, there's so much to do. Even in this little tiny early access game, they are planning on this massive map, including everything. And normally I'd be a little skeptical in what they're saying, but they really make updates. They have a great community, they are communicative, and they do make effort to progress the game. I really can't stress enough how worth it is just to go grab this game on Steam Early Access and give it a shot. Especially because they're not crowdfunding this, they really are running off the Early Access sales. I'm not sure how many people work at Lovely Hell Place, but I know one guy founded it. His name is James Ragg. However, I can't imagine he's the only one working on this just because it's so expansive and they are really making progress, which tells me that they've got multiple people working on it. So head on over to Steam, grab it. It works on your Steam Deck, it works on your PC. I'm not sure if it's on anything else or if there's plans to, but right now it's only Windows. So please give it a shot. Give these guys a little bit of credit, give them a little bit of attention. Hey, that's it for me this week. Thanks for sticking around if you're still here. If not, I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to hear about new stuff. Click like on the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, just get the hell out of here. Don't click the down button because that hurts my feelings. Please don't do that. If you agreed with anything I said or want to expand or have a conversation, please comment below. If you disagree with what I say, or if you just hate my voice, or you imagine you hate my face because of my voice, go ahead and tell me below too. I'll ignore it, or I'll delete it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do about that type of stuff yet. But thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.